Winter weather is the story tonight. We're talking snow and wind that could cause some problems with visibility. But the bigger story here is how far temperatures drop and how quickly. What impacts that means for roads ahead in your forecast.
And crews are bracing for those impacts right now. We'll take you live out on the roads as conditions worsen across the area.
As the temperatures drop to their lowest this season, what homeless shelters and homeless advocates are doing to help those less fortunate here in the community. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Joel Skipper.
And I'm Hayden Ristavsky. Snow is coming down across the area right now, making for some dangerous conditions. And with extreme cold on the way, things could get worse.
We have crews keeping a close eye on the conditions outside. We're going to check in with them in just a moment. But first, we want to get right over to meteorologist Hannah Strong with what we can expect overnight and the impact we might see on the roads. Hannah.
Well, the big story here is how far and how quickly temperatures have fallen. So I'm clearly dressed, ready to go. We're actually going to take a field trip so I can show you what this is doing to the air right now. Temperatures have dropped rapidly in the last few hours. It's only 25 in Austin, 36 degrees in Campbellsville, and here's what's going on. That transition line from rain to snow is moving through Louisville now. I've drawn out here when you can expect to see that transition a little bit closer to you, closer to 11, a little bit farther south, midnight toward the end of our WDRB counties. Here's the big picture. There's a winter storm warning, that's the dark blue here, in effect across our area. The purple is a winter weather advisory. As the snow continues to fall, road conditions deteriorate rapidly. So as we look outside right now, you can see what's going on. The snow is picking up. The wind actually is kind of the big story at the moment. Starting to pick up, gusts up to 30 miles an hour all across the area. So as you drive, this snow that's falling that doesn't look too bad right now, the wind just whips that around and creates some real visibility problems. Then on the roads themselves, because the air temperature is dropping so quickly, the ground temperature, the road temperature is also dropping rapidly. So all of this snow that you see here in our water garden and that's falling from the sky is sticking a little bit better than you might have expected it would. So as the snow continues to fall, the wind whips up, the road conditions really are deteriorating rapidly, and that becomes the story overnight. This gets worse before it gets better. So we do expect to see ice form on the roads. The other problem is it rained all day, so the roads have not been pre-treated to prevent the snow from sticking. So as we look ahead into your forecast, the question becomes how long does this snow keep falling and what impact does that bring us in the morning? WDRB's Chad Mills is live in Middletown, where KYTC is preparing for a really long night. Chad?
20 minutes can make a world of difference. Just 20 minutes ago, rain was falling here in Middletown. Now, as you can probably see, it's a mixture of some sleet and a little bit of snow. But yes, KYTC crews hard at work this evening, anticipating a long night because of what could come. I want to show you some video from a little earlier this evening. Of course, crews working today got a little bit of practice last week with the snowfall, but what we could see tonight is different. At least that's what they're expecting.
All right, Hannah, we saw those conditions in southern Indiana just a few minutes ago. They were pretty scary with all that snow on the roads, but that's not even the main concern because these temperatures are dropping fast.
You're exactly right. And the temperature is a big part of the problem when we look at road conditions. So let's take a look at the current air temperature. And we do need to distinguish between air temperature and road temperature. It's 25 in Austin, 27 in French Lick, still up at 36 in Campbellsville. And the green colors you see closer to Jackson and eastern Kentucky, those are 40s. So the cold front is moving through right now. That's pretty obvious. When we flip over to pavement temperatures, those are also dropping remarkably fast, several degrees just since I updated this map an hour ago. So now the pavement temperature in Seymour and Scottsburg is down to 30 degrees. That's part of the reason the road conditions in southern Indiana are so bad already. Now the pavement in E-Town still up at 42, Litchfield 41, but again, those numbers will be dropping very quickly here in the next couple of hours. The snow is part of that. It's cooling the air and the pavement as it comes down, and that's a big part of the reason we have these weather alerts in effect right now. So the blue color here is a winter storm warning. Both of these they're in effect now and they continue until tomorrow morning. So the blue essentially along and north of the river. The purple is a winter weather advisory. Impacts won't be quite as bad where you see the purple as opposed to the blue, but we're all seeing the very strong wind. Gusts right now over 30 miles an hour, and that continues overnight into first thing tomorrow morning. This is 4 a.m. I still expect we're going to see strong wind gusts overnight. So any driving tonight, not advisable. In fact, ISP is advising not to go out on the road unless it's an emergency because the snow, the wind, and the rapidly dropping temperatures combine to just really make a bad road situation. So we're going to zoom in here. We're seeing snow, moderate to heavy snow actually in the dark purples here all across southern Indiana at this point, and it's moving into Louisville as well. A bit farther south, mostly sleet from Frankfort down toward Bardstown. Even now getting reports from E-Town that sleet is changing over to snow, and still dry for the most part farther south. Lebanon down toward Campbellsville and over toward Mumfordville. Worry not, you guys are going to see this in the next hour or hour and a half as this starts to march through. So as far as totals tonight, what should you be expecting for snow? The white here would be up to 2 inches. So you guys are going to see the lowest end. You're going to see the snow for the shortest amount of time. 2 to 4 inches is likely in the dark blue color here. This does include Louisville, but please remember that 2 to 4 is a range. I really expect Louisville to be on the lower end of that, closer to 2 or maybe 3 inches. And then the heaviest snow, the highest totals likely in southern Indiana, this light blue color, 4 to 6 inches possible there. So this continues overnight. We're going to see the snow start to taper off about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And as it does, the temperatures continue to plummet. So just because the snow stops on your way into church tomorrow does not mean the roads are getting any better. Your low temperature is 17 degrees. That allows for no melting naturally overnight, and then the high only climbs to 24. Any melting is going to have to be done by the road crews. Please keep those folks in mind tonight. We don't even climb above freezing until early next week.
All right, Hannah, thank you very much. And as she mentioned, the snow is falling and sticking to some Kentuckiana roads.
WDRB's Jessica Bard is keeping an eye on conditions. Jessica, are you seeing any problems on the road so far?
Hi Hayden, we're in the WDRB drive cam right now. To answer your question, I haven't personally seen any crashes out here on the roads, but that doesn't mean the roads are safe. To be pretty blunt, they're actually really bad. Take a look, I'm gonna flip you around here. We are on I-65 heading south back toward Louisville. The roads are really icy because of that rain from earlier that's freezing on the roads. They're completely covered with snow now too. And we're following a salt truck right now. We actually pulled over not too long ago to start heading south, and there's probably about an inch of snow on the road, I would probably estimate. The scariest part for me as a passenger in the van right now is just the wind whipping our news van back and forth. You can even see, you probably can't see it right now, but I can see some trees just being whipped around from the wind. If you don't need to be out driving tonight, I would really recommend that you stay home. But right now, I'm going to send it over to our Chad Mills. Chad, how does it look like where you are?
Well, Jessica, here in Kentucky, KYTC isn't too worried about the snow at this point, but they are worried about a couple of things. They're worried about the sub-freezing temperatures, and they're worried about what you see behind me. So much moisture all over the road because of all the rain we received up until about 30 minutes ago today. This is not a road behind me. This is just a parking lot, but it'll give you an idea of how cold the roads could be. I have a kitchen infrared thermometer here, and when you point it at the ground and pull the trigger, you see it's hovering around 30 degrees, 31 degrees right now, so below freezing. That shows you why KYTC and others are trying to put out the salt as aggressively as they can right now with that calcium chloride, hoping to keep the water on the road just that, water, not ice. We'll have more. We will bring you another live report here in a few minutes. But for now, live in Louisville, in Middletown, Chad Mills, WDRB News.
All right, Chad, we'll talk to you in just a little bit.
And WDRB in the morning will start an hour early tomorrow. Meteorologist Jude Redfield will join Kate Springer and Gina Glaros, and they will all have the very latest in your forecast. Multiple crews will be out across Kentuckiana tomorrow morning, checking on those roads and bringing you updates. Tune in to WDRB tomorrow morning from 5 to 9. And Hannah, we have seen a lot of really kind of scary pictures out there tonight.
We have.
Especially up at where Jessica was, up in Indiana at 65.
Sure. Indiana's definitely seeing the worst of it right now, but the conditions and the weather itself constantly changing right now. And that's the hardest part of this forecast is the constant change from temperature drops to snow rates to precip types. There's a lot changing. So here we go. Let's dive in. Temperatures in the metro, 28 in Louisville, 30 the official reading at the airport. As we zoom out, you'll see 20s in southern Indiana. Part of the reason roads there are worse at the moment, but temperatures are dropping now below freezing in our Kentucky counties as well. We're down to 31 in Litchfield, 32 in Mumfordville. The coldest air has yet to hit us, though. It's already 21 degrees in Indy, 16 in Chicago, and the current air temperature in Des Moines, friends, is 4 degrees. The coldest air is moving in now. Louisville right now is 10 degrees colder than at the same time yesterday, but that value range is closer to 20 degrees the farther south and west in Kentucky you go. So temperatures are dropping very quickly tonight. That 24-hour temperature drop has really happened within the last couple of hours. That's combined with the snow, creating some problems across the area, as you've already seen. So snow spinning through most of our western counties at this point. Light snow to moderate snow now falling in Louisville. Sleet and sort of a wintry mix is what you see in the pink here. That stretches from Frankfort down through Bardstown into E-Town as well. In fact, E-Town now starting to transition over from sleet to snow. The more sleet you lay down, the slicker the road becomes before the snow even hits it. Heavier snow now falling to the north. A couple of snow reports for you in our southern Indiana counties. Around Seymour, we had about 3 inches of snow. Paoli also reported 3 inches of snow already, but they're almost done. I expect they pick up another couple of inches of snow there before we move on. The dark blue here, winter storm warning. That goes into it's already in effect, continues until early tomorrow morning. That's where we're expecting to see the worst impacts from this. And you see that lines up with where we're already seeing the worst road impacts. The purple is a winter weather advisory, also continues until tomorrow morning. The impacts there are expected to be a little bit less, as are the snow totals. Now, one of the impacts is the strong wind tonight. You've seen it when we take looks outside. The wind is really blowing, plus snow, and that creates a visibility problem. So again, if you don't have to be out on the road tonight, please don't be. Conditions are rapidly deteriorating. Snow continues to push to the south and east tonight. By about 3 or 4 in the morning, it clears our area. So this will not be still snowing when you wake up tomorrow morning. But the temperature drops so far so fast, there's really not a whole lot that can be done about the ice before you leave your house in the morning. As far as snow totals, the white here would be up to 2 inches of snow. You guys see the smallest totals the farther south you are. 2 to 4 inches in the dark blue here. That does include Louisville. And again, I think Louisville going to be on the lower end of that, maybe 2 to 3 inches for the metro. 4 to 6 inches in the light blue color. And again, Paoli and around Seymour, they've already reported 3 inches of snow at this point. So those numbers do look to be on track, and they have a couple more hours of snow left. So here's your 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, still a couple of isolated snow showers possible, but we're really not picking up much more accumulation. The problem here is the ice potential. The low temperature is 17, the high is only 24. That means no natural melting happens tomorrow. Any melting we see of ice on the road or on sidewalk or your car has to be done by a chemical process. In fact, we don't climb above freezing likely until Tuesday afternoon. So again, ice poses a significant issue in the next couple of days. Beyond that, we do have another temperature drop and a couple more snow chances in the extended range, with potentially another snow system coming in next weekend.
All right, Hannah, thank you. We'll check back with you in a few.